This was a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is mostly about limiting or expanding the president's power.
Ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore.
There will be no birthright citizenship for undocumented individuals and individuals on visas.
Like H1, L1, F1, none. Unless...
An amazing decision, one that we're very happy about.
Thank you, Samir, for doing this. It's been a long time since I've talked. No, just kidding. Let's do
So
quick
48
intro.
hours.
Yes, quick intro for people who don't know you.
Yeah, thank you, Yudi. My name is Samir Kedeker, immigration lawyer, 20 plus years of practice. Used to waking up at 6:30 in the morning with new immigration news and Trump administrations, 1.0 and now 2.0. So here we are.
So there's the news going on. People are like texting me, WhatsApping me, like, okay, what's going on? I pulled up from this New York Times that it's talking about, temporarily pause. And I think people are misunderstanding this, that, oh, this is like an active, but I know it's in certain states. And I'm also curious about this 6-3 decision. I don't know if you know what that means, but if we can talk about like what's going on with this birthright citizenship, ending this whole thing.
So, I mean, contrary to popular conception, and this is not anybody's fault. The media is as guilty of this as anything. This case is not technically about birthright citizenship. Okay. This case is using the birthright citizenship executive order to test the court's ability to limit the effectiveness of a president's executive order. Do you understand?
Yeah.
This is mostly about limiting or expanding the president's power. Okay. So they're using the birthright executive order as an example of that. Okay. Right. So what this decision is saying is that if somebody has a problem with the executive order, right? In this case, states have filed suit mostly, right? So let's say California has a problem with the executive order, right? And they file a lawsuit. They're saying, look, this is unconstitutional, right? And lots of people are going to be harmed. So until the court determines whether it's constitutional or not, you should halt its like effectiveness across the country, right? And that's kind of what happened right before.
Yeah.
So the president basically is saying the state can't halt it across the country. They should only be able to halt it in that state. Okay. So whether or not we agree with the court's decision, the court agreed with the president there. So in the case of birthright citizenship now, which is the executive order at issue, right? It still remains halted in the 22 states that filed suit.
Okay.
Plus DC and plus San Francisco, which are two cities that also filed lawsuits. In the 28 remaining states, actually not now, in 30 days from today's opinion, the executive order will take effect. So in that 30 days, the other 28 states, if they choose, can file a lawsuit, right? And ask that it be, they call it enjoined, halted, right? Enjoined temporarily until the courts are able to determine whether or not the executive order is constitutional. Now, the question is like, okay, the states that filed suit are the ones that are probably I won't say anti-Trump, but pro-immigrant, right? Pro-immigrant, more blue state type places, right? You're probably not going to find states like Texas and states in the South and in the Midwest filing suit. So what we're going to have here is a country that has birthright citizenship for some, but not for others. Do you understand?
Interesting. Yeah.
We'll see how that ends up in 30 days from now when the executive order goes into effect. Which states are actually enjoined it versus which ones have not.
What happens between this 30 days? So let's say if someone is pregnant, they have a baby from now until...
So right now, yeah, in the next 30 days, it's as it was before.
Okay.
The executive order does not, it's been enjoined nationally. Okay.
Nationally, okay.
And it goes into effect 30 days from today.
Into those 28 days, not in the 22
Into those
days.
28 states.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, states. Yeah, not days.
Well, 28 states as we know it now. There may be more states. There could be more lawsuits filed within those states, like organizations can get together. There's different ways for this to happen. We'll see how the next, but if nothing changes between now and then yes, in those 28 states, there will be no birthright citizenship for undocumented individuals and individuals on visas.
Like H1, L1, F1, none, unless one of the partner is green card or citizen.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but then wouldn't people just switch to another state where they have a lot, and then just
what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So when this executive order was issued, what were people doing? They were actually talking about having a baby early, having C-sections early, in advance of the implementation date, right? That's not going to happen. Hopefully, doctors are like, "What are you doing?" Like, that's not. What may happen are people actually deciding where they're going to go to have babies now, right? Which is the argument against this ruling. It's just, why would we want to encourage a situation where we're having people of means, probably, who can travel, right, to different states to have their babies, away from their doctors, away from the hospital system? Like, how is this like in the interest of public health, right? So you asked about the 6-3 decision. The three are the three justices who voted against that decision. Okay, the liberal wing of the Supreme Court. There are three of them.
Okay,
and then the 6 conservative judges voted for. Right, so the conservative judges are kind of more concerned with, the idea of executive power and maybe giving a little bit more power to the executive branch, right? Whereas the 3 who voted against it are more concerned about what are people going to do? Like, this is so unfair, right? And so then you have and this is why it's important. I understand why conservatives versus liberals on the Supreme Court, why it makes such a difference and how it can impact all of our lives.
Yeah, and so 30 days from now, once the executive order goes into effect, these 22 states who have filed lawsuit, and maybe more may join, for them, when does that decision happen? Or is that just like an ongoing thing?
It's indefinitely now, up to the point where a court says, okay, we've decided that the birthright citizenship executive order is constitutional. And if that happens, then it becomes effective. I don't see that happening. Honestly, that's like every constitutional scholar I've read and listened to and talked to, thinks it's a major stretch for a court to view this order as constitutional.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I know you have to leave, but thank you for explaining. And again, I'm assuming if people have questions and need consultation, I'll put the Vanguard laws links in the description so they can reach out to you.